This is Joshua Hart here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by Adam Smith here in Sheffield. Adam, a very stressful week for the GBM team. Speaking to Izzy Asif, it's not been an easy one, but regardless, the press conference is now done. Just 2 days out from fight night. How are you feeling?
The show goes on. I've seen it many times with many different promoters up and down the country, all over the world. These things happen in boxing. It's not a team sport. It may be in the gyms with stablemates, but ultimately, two guys or two girls are going to get in there on fight night with a referee, and that's it. And if one of them doesn't make it, it can sabotage cards, it can crash shows, it can affect. The key is how you deal with it, how you adapt. The great news is Shakan Pitters is going to fight, Shaquille Thompson's going to fight, and there's a whole host of youngsters who are biting at the chance. They can't wait for the opportunity to try and steal the show. Remember, it's live on DAZN. It's a massive platform. It's the first GBM show of the year. Are we disappointed? Of course we are. But more importantly, it's the health of the fighters, the safety. That's why the board are here. That's why the fights sometimes don't happen. I feel for Shakan Pitters, but more, I feel for what he was covering up. I didn't know about his father passing, and my condolences to him and his family, and the courage he did to get up here and sit here today and talk about it, and to fight still on Friday night is phenomenal. My heart also goes out to my good friend Tycee Gallagher. The tragedy that she went through meant she couldn't be on the bill. That's far more important than boxing. It's families and it's life. So let's put that into perspective, right? Boxing goes on. We want to entertain. We want the fans to come and the fighters to get their opportunity because, hey, they've trained hard over Christmas and they come on and they've got the chance of stepping on the bill. But these things happen in boxing. This has happened in the sport, and it's how you deal with them and how you adapt. And it builds promoters. It makes them stronger. It makes managers stronger, and it makes fighters stronger. It's just one of those things that happens in this business. So, yeah, more importantly, my heart goes out about the families and what's happened in this build-up. But the show goes on Friday night, live on DAZN, GBM's first show of the year. A new dawn, and it's going to be a fabulous year for GBM. There's a lot of things planned. There'll be another announcement next week about our next show. Then we've got a stadium show as well coming up soon. So lots to look forward to. Most importantly, the fighters get their opportunity to earn their money and continue their careers live on DAZN on Friday night, not Saturday night.
Just before we move on, despite us all working in this boxing industry, and this is how we make a living, there is more to life than just boxing. So I do just pass on my condolences to Shakan Pitters and Tycee Gallagher for what they're going through. A massive respect to Shakan as well for coming up here talking about it and getting himself in the ring on Friday night. Speaking to Izzy about this stadium show, it's thrown me off guard a little bit, I'll be honest. With the pace that GBM move at, I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting to hear a stadium show, but Izzy has big hopes. I'm sure you have big hopes as well. Were you just as shocked when you heard there was potential for a stadium fight, and it seems like it's going to happen?
I wasn't shocked at all. I know Izzy, and I know his ambition, and I know what he wants to do with GBM and with his fighters. I know about the stadium show. It will be held between us behind the scenes for now, but it's going to be very, very exciting, and that's what he wants to do. He said to everybody up here, he wants world champions by the end of the year, world title fights, and you know what Izzy really wants? He wants to get his fighters on the biggest stage, and at the moment that is with His Excellency out in Riyadh season, either over in Saudi or here. GBM shows are fabulous. Atmosphere, excitement, but we all know that the fighters are at a level, their prospects coming through or they're on the cusp, and we need to get those fighters through, whether it will be a Tiernan Bradley or a Kieran Malloy or a Shaq Thompson or a Tycee Gallagher. We don't know at the moment who's going to make that jump. Shakan Pitters maybe. European title will be next for Shakan after Friday night. So there's a huge year ahead. And the biggest thing is live on DAZN. Okay, it's hard for me to say because I've been at Sky for so many years of my life. Sky might be the home of sport in this country, but DAZN is the home of boxing, the home of combat sports. You can see that with Matchroom. You could see that with Queensberry moving over. GBM, top tier, so much now. Oscar de la Hoya's Golden Boy, so much on DAZN. It has to be the home of combat sport. And as though, of course, Ben at Boxer, my good friend, and Sky are doing a fantastic job with the elevation, of course, the casual fans watching the sport. Adam Azim, phenomenal on Saturday night at Wembley. Can't wait for the big women's show in March. Lauren Price, Tasha Jonas, terrific. Caroline Dubois, Caris Artingstall, everybody on that show as well. And they've got many big plans as well over on Sky. But if you look at the content, look at the amount of fights that are happening on DAZN, it's the place that GBM wanted to be, and that's where GBM are now, and it's only going to get bigger and better.
Just moving away, and just want to get your thoughts on two topics. Obviously, I know you caught up with my colleague Josh Green recently over Zoom.
Great guy.
Massive shout. He did tell me to say hello to you, so Josh Green does say hello. I'm sure he'll see this. But no, just two things. First of all, Anthony Joshua versus Martin Bakole, rumoured to be signed and set to take place in the summer in Congo. What are your thoughts on that?
Martin didn't tell me that when I saw him on Saturday. In fact, I was with him most of last week. He did tell me that AJ wouldn't go past 4 rounds if they fought. And he said Dubois wouldn't go past 2. And I said, what about Usyk? He said, Usyk's a good boxer, I'll give him 6. That's how confident Martin Bakole is of cleaning up the heavyweight division. Do we want to see AJ against Bakole in Africa half a century after the Rumble in the Jungle? Of course we want to see that. I also want to see Fury Joshua. I also want to see Bakole try and take on Usyk. There's huge fights out there. Martin's got to fight this final eliminator out in America in May. First of all, AJ, who knows? We don't know what his next plan is. It could be one of many things, couldn't it? AJ's in a great position despite coming off the defeat. Tyson Fury's retired for now. We've got Daniel Dubois and Joseph Parker. We've got Zhilai Zhang and Agit Kabayel. We've got Derek Chisora fighting Saturday night. We've got Dillian White coming out. There's so many. Don't forget Joe Joyce. Delicious Ore's just been signed by Queensberry today. I mean, how many heavyweights have they got? Fabio Wardley and I had a night in Ipswich recently, and what a career he's got ahead of him. I was with Fraser Clark, sat with him at ringside in in Nottingham the other night. He's coming back. I mean, it's absolutely brilliant, the heavyweight division. It's on fire. Would I like to see Bakole AJ in Africa? Absolutely. Do I think we see it next? No. I think we see other fights. But I tell you what, 2025 could be the biggest year for heavyweight boxing in many a year. It's very, very exciting.
Just quickly on Saturday night.
Very quickly, because I got a train to catch. I'm sorry about that.
Derek Chisora versus Otto Wallin. How do you see that fight playing out, especially with it now being an IBF eliminator as well?
Say it again, which fight?
Derek Chisora, Otto Wallin, IBF eliminator now.
I will be there at ringside with Frank and George. I can't wait for that fight. Derek against Otto Wallin is a really interesting fight. Derek, maybe the last dance. I want to see him. Well, I think we'll all see him take the 50th. Otto Wallin could be a real problem for him. Very good fighter, underestimated all the time. He gave Tyson Fury a tough fight. AJ dealt with him by sticking to a game plan. That's what Derek's got to do, but he's a whole different style than Joshua. If Wallin gets in a rhythm, Derek's got his work cut out. But Derek's big and strong and aggressive, and he'll cut corners. And I tell you what, it's a fight I can't wait to be at. But before that, it's Friday night in Sheffield. So hold on, Frank Warren and Derek Chisora. We got something on Friday night. It's Izzy's first fight of the year on Friday in Sheffield. Shack Attack, double Shack, and Chuck the Farm Boy, Taz Nadeem the Butcher, and many others on. And let's enjoy Friday before we get to Saturday.
Adam, I'll see you there. Thank you very much for your time. See you on Fight Night.